Couple things, Brian. I was wondering first if you could shed some light, since we haven't talked to you, on the decision to let go of Blake Martinez. Was that he hasn't looked the same since injury? It doesn't look like it was salary related. So why let go of Blake? Because it seemed like obviously his resume would suggest he's one of your better inside linebackers.
Yeah, appreciate the question, Ryan. All I'll say is every decision that we make regarding releasing a player is always a difficult decision. Just like all our guys, I'd say good luck to Blake and the rest of the guys that we released, and we're looking forward to getting ready on our preparations for Tennessee.
And then two injury things. How confident are you Tyrod will be available to you on Sunday if needed, and where do you stand at left guard?
Yeah, well, we have a week here to move guys in and out and let those guys compete. And as far as Tyrod, he's good to go.
Thanks.
Yep.
Paul Schwartz.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Paul.
Hey, I'm not at the beach in case
No, I see you. You're at the office working.
Yes. Working man, right, on Labor Day. Yes. Joe Shane mentioned this the other day about, the overemphasis on the first week as far as, 0-1, you're the worst team ever, 1-0, you're going to the Super Bowl. As a head coach for the first time, how do you, obviously going in to be 1-0, no question about it, all your sights are set on this game, but how do you kind of take a immediate picture, we need to win this game, versus this is not going to define us?
Yeah, I really go back to how we do things during the week more than the final outcome. Our process, our preparation, the guys staying after to throw and to catch, the meetings that the secondary has or the defensive line has of studying their opponents. Those are the things that we can control, and going out there each day at practice and trying to, execute the plays that we put in and improve them on a day-to-day basis.
Do you find in your history, being a coordinator and assistant for all these years, that after the first week, you get a sense the team is riding high or riding low, depending on that outcome?
No, you just try to stay consistent, Paul. I remember last year, when I was at Buffalo, we had a rough first game, and there's seasons where we've won the first game and seasons where we lost the first game. Every game is important. Everybody's excited about opening day. It's a cool game. There's a lot of unknowns, and you're figuring out what your team is. You're trying to figure out what the team that you're playing is. Because again, you can do all the off-season studies you want to until you're playing in a game and figuring it out on the fly. I think that's the most important thing for us.
Thanks, Brian.
Yep, you got it.
Pat Leonard.
Hey, Brian.
Hey,
how you doing?
Are you at the beach?
I am not. I am at the park.
Okay.
Two quick ones on Blake Martinez. One, do you think that releasing him makes your team better?
Yeah. Again, I'll just say the same thing that I said before. I'm not going to get into why release, why we didn't release, where he's at, and that's how we're going to handle our stuff here in terms of our releases. Wish Blake the best, and looking forward to moving on to this week.
Just quick follow on him too, and you might have the same answer, but what changed between Tuesday cutdown day when he stayed on the team and Thursday when you released him?
Yeah, I'd say the same answer I gave you, Pat.
All right.
Tom Canavan.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Tom.
I'm sitting in the living room.
Okay.
When you talked before about off-season studies and things like that, and I mean, coaches have injuries all the time. How much does it throw you out of whack when a guy like Landry in practice blows out his ACL? And I assume you prepared for him all off-season. How much does that change your plan?
Well, first of all, my condolences to him. He's a fantastic player, and you never want to see any player get injured. He brought a lot to their defense and really was a dynamic player. Again, every team has backups, and those backups are fully capable, and we respect every player we have to play against. We'll take a look at the players that are behind him, and again, we don't exactly know what's going to happen, whether Autry's going to move over there, whatever it may be. The first game you have to rely on your rules and things that you did through training camp. and that's where our focus will be.
Thank you.
Yep.
Tom Rock.
I'll give a crack to this Blake Martinez question thing. What did you like? And what do you see from the young guys who were still there at that position? And how much did their development and what they gave you this summer, did that weigh into what you did with Blake?
Well, I'll just speak on the guys that are here. I think those guys are, have made strides each and every day. They've made plays throughout the preseason, and we have a lot of confidence in those players.
Second question I have is you brought in a couple of guys, veterans on the practice squad.
Yep.
Tony and Moreau.
Yep.
Who have some starting experience, a lot of experience. Tony does with this defense. How quickly do you expect them to be able to contribute on Sundays and maybe even this coming Sunday?
Yeah, we'll give them as much as they can handle. I know the coaches will be meeting with those guys extra, and we'll make decisions with players that are on a practice squad toward the end of the week here. But again, some of them had experience in the system and some haven't, but they've played a lot of football, so we're excited to have both those guys.
Patty Trina.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Hey, Patty, how are you?
I'm good. I am not at the beach, by the way.
Okay.
I don't do the beach, but I have two quick ones for you, if I may.
Sure.
Have you decided if Mike is going to be the play caller moving forward, or is that still up for debate?
No. I talked to Mike, over the weekend. We were working yesterday, talked to him today. I have a lot of confidence in Mike. We'll stay with, how we did things in the preseason.
Okay, and then the second question I'm kind of curious about. The schedule this week is a little unusual. Usually, it's Monday, then off Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm just wondering what went into the change up for this particular week.
Well, it's I've been part of a team that has done it this way the last few years, so it wasn't unusual for me. And I think that today you get a good introduction. You go hard these next couple days. You get time to regroup and reevaluate where you're at on Thursday and have a normal Friday.
Thank you.
Yep.
We have time for two more. Art and then Jordan. Art, go ahead.
Hey, Dabes.
Hey, Art.
Two things. One, I know we'll get a better sense when we're out there tomorrow, but do you have any update on where Kayvon and Aziz are, and do you think that there's a chance that they'll be on the practice field tomorrow?
I'll say they're day-to-day, just like last week. They're getting better, and, we'll reevaluate it tonight.
Okay, and then the second one is, you mentioned it earlier, there's so many unknowns going into week one, but at least your opponent is an established opponent, whereas I'm sure they're going to be digging into a lot of, Buffalo tape and Kansas City tape and what maybe Wink did in Baltimore. How aware are you guys of that fact? Do you try to take advantage a little bit of the unknown, of what they don't know what you're going to actually look like when you get out there on the field? And can that help in week one for a new staff and a new team?
Yeah, no, obviously they're established. Coach Vrabel's had a winning program since he's been there. Been in the playoffs the last 3 years, won the AFC last year. Again, every year is such a new year, Art, really, regardless of a new staff or not a new staff. That's why, your fundamentals and your rules, you have to be really good with those things early on in the year, not just week one, but week 2, week 3, because each team evolves every year based on their personnel. They have new personnel. We have new personnel. So it's really, I'd say it's a normal, get ready for week one, even though we're a new staff. I don't want to speak on how they're doing it. They've been real successful with how they've done things.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Thanks.
You got it.
I'll humor you, Brian.
I see. I see.
There you go. With Blake, he was going to be your starting middle linebacker. I'm curious, how big a challenge does that become to have to fill that 10 days before the season and make that change? And who are your options? Like, who do you look at as your top options to sort of fill that void?
Yeah, well, the guys that we have on the roster, we have confidence in. look, they know, those spots are interchangeable, the inside linebacker spots. And again, whether it be Tay, McFadden, Calitro, we have confidence in the guys that are on our roster.
And I know Art kind of touched on it there.
Yep.
But are Thibodeau and or Aziz out on the field at all? Like, what have they been doing?
Yeah, they're rehabbing. They're day to day, and we'll just take it that way. And we'll talk to our training staff tonight and see where they're at for tomorrow.
Do you think they have a shot at week 1?
Day to day.